Donald Trump has welcomed South Korea's President Lee Myung to the White House. Mr. Lee praised the US president's skills as a peacemaker and asked for his help to bring peace between North and South Korea. Mr. Trump said he was confident that progress towards peace on the Korean Peninsula could be made. The two leaders are now holding talks expected to focus on trade and defense. Let's bring in Washington correspondent Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber. Welcome, Ben. Let's start with this pre-meeting, these meetings now in the Oval Office. What did you make of that?
So it was a very cordial first meeting between both leaders. If we compare it also to many other meetings that we've seen there, only to mention two of them with the president of South Africa and also with the president of Ukraine, one of those meetings. And what we saw in the Oval Office was that the South Korean President Lee used a strategy that many foreign leaders have tried to please the host. He started by talking about the redecorated Oval Office. He called it bright and beautiful. He praised Trump for the U.S. efforts in playing also major roles in several peace negotiations. He even asked the U.S. president to take a bigger role in peace negotiations between North and South Korea, saying that Kim Jong-un would be waiting for Trump. And also later, the U.S. president said that he had and still has a good relationship with the North Korean leader. Both Lee and Trump in the Oval Office underscored what they called a good relationship between both countries, also when it comes to trade and defense. And Trump also said that the U.S. currently has more than 40,000 troops in South Korea, underscoring this good military relationship between South Korea and the U.S.
And ahead of that meeting, President Trump criticized the South Korean government. Over what?
That's right. There was a rather cryptic post on Truth Social that Trump sent out earlier today, with many wondering how that would influence the meeting. He suggested, and I quote, he spoke about a purge or a revolution that is taking place in the country, but he changed his tone during this meeting. He praised Lee's election victory in June. That happened after his predecessor was ousted for declaring martial law. So quite contrasting comments from Trump, but the ones we're talking about in the Oval Office are from the public part, with media in there, and we don't know if the tone between both leaders shifted when the bilateral meeting started behind closed doors. There was also an interesting moment when Trump accused South Korean government of conducting what he called raids on churches, very bad things. He said he didn't expand on the idea, but said that the U.S. would not stand for that. And later, President Trump was pressed on it, and he said he was told by intel, so intelligence, that there were raids in churches, but added that it didn't sound like South Korea.
All right. So the bilateral meeting then between the two leaders, what's on the agenda?
Many topics, I mentioned some of them: defense cooperation, the situation at the border between South Korea and North Korea, probably too, considering that only a couple of days ago South Korean troops fired warning shots at North Korean troops crossing the border. State media in North Korea said that the shots were a deliberate provocation, and the North Korean government accused Seoul, the North Korean dictatorship around Kim Jong-un, accused South Korea of risking what they said is uncontrollable tensions. And also there's one probably tricky topic for the South Korean president they will probably talk about and discuss behind closed doors, and that's a potential drawdown of U.S. forces in Korea, a topic that U.S. President Trump managed to sidestep during the public part of the Oval Office meeting. But we can be sure that that will be one of the key topics, important topics, when talking about security, cooperation, and about the U.S. troops that are currently stationed in the country.
Thanks for that, Ben. DW correspondent Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber in Washington.